Hello everyone, RobIsNow here, welcome to the channel. Today I'm trying to do something a little different to what I've normally done, and we're going to start a series off of getting into Liftoff if you're new, and going through different options and settings. So we're going from the ground up, how to set up your controller and screen. Then we're going to look at setting up a drone, going through the workbench, how to set up different different drones for different things. And then we're going to take a look at all of the other options that we can in Liftoff. Hopefully you'll be picking up tips along the way. I've learned stuff just researching for this along the way, so yeah, it should be useful. So the first things first, when you get into Liftoff, you're going to be flying either with a controller, that's how I started as a gamer, or you're going to be using a radio. If you're flying in the real world, you're definitely going to have one of those already. So just make sure your radio is detected by your operating system. So I'm on Windows. Windows picks all this stuff up, and plug it in and start Liftoff. Go into your controls first thing. If this is the first time you've loaded Liftoff, it should take you to this config screen by default, because it wants you to be able to get in and fly straight away. So first things first, if you move your sticks and your drone doesn't work, just make sure you hit select and just double check your controller has been identified. If it hasn't, you can change it. If you've got multiple controllers plugged in, they will all appear in this select list and you can change them. You then hit calibrate and you start the calibration. That will take you through setting up your stick inputs. You follow these movements, and it will set up your drone for you, or set up your controller for you. You can do manual calibration if you don't want to do the automatic stuff, but mine is working as it should, so I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to increase my deadband slightly because I notice my stick input on screen is wobbly for those. But there we go. That is set up. I'm not going to put any 0 point. If you're using a controller like this, these analog sticks are nowhere near as accurate as your gimbals on these controllers. So you will have to fiddle with the deadband quite a lot to make sure that there's no sort of residual input when you center the sticks. You'll also probably want to increase the 0 point on your throttle. There is a whole video dedicated to setting up a controller like this in my video, so go and have a look for that. I'll put a link in the description below as well. That is that done. So we're going to go to the main menu. That's your controller setup. The next thing we're going to look at is how to change the screen setup. So by default, your system will look something like this, probably not that, and it wouldn't have this on. Now I'm going to leave the joystick overlay on. Use on-screen display creates the horizon lines and compass. Everything else, like your acro mode, your battery and all that, shows. So if this is your first time in Liftoff, I'll leave it on as it should be here, and we're going to jump in and show you how it displays. Now it's fine, I like it, but it's not ideal for how I want to use Liftoff, so I will be changing this stuff. So by default we have a goggle animation, which is gorgeous. I don't use fat sharks, so I don't like those. I use a box goggle. But yeah, we have the horizon line on, we have camera noise. I have left the stick inputs so you can see those. We've got speed and altitude, and we have the mode in the top left corner along with battery management, because I have got battery management turned on. Now this is wonderful, kind of like what it's like to fly for real because you are wearing goggles, but I'm not that keen on the camera noise. It's the nicest camera noise I've seen in the Sims, but I don't really fly the other Sims, so I couldn't tell you what they look like anymore because they've probably been updated as well. But if you want to turn any of this stuff off, the camera noise is turned off with the toggle of the C key, so you can clean up the image a lot with that. I'm in a simulator, so I want a clean image. That's just how I see it. I'm not flying for real here. I am just flying to sort of, practice, so I don't want it to look ugly. The next one is all of these horizon lines. Now I don't use those in the real world, so I don't want them in my simulator. You can disable them with a keyboard shortcut of F1, which I wasn't aware of until I was researching for the video. So that's handy as a quick way to get around it, but I do like having the rest of the information on the screen. So I just want to get rid of those horizon lines, and you can do that in the option menu. So we're going to come out here and look at cleaning up that image. So back into options, back to game, we're going to turn off on-screen display, we're going to remove camera noise, I'm going to leave this joystick overlay on because I find it helpful for the videos, and we're going to skip the goggle animation. What I will also throw in here is the detect stunts, so you can see that in action. Useful for those beginning to get an idea of what some of the moves are known as, or at least just to practice recognizing them. The moves, as it were, the stunts in Liftoff as they call it, are not all identifiable. So things like Matty flips, which is like a reverse power loop, that's not identified. Power loops are, split S's and things like that are, orbits are, but they're called target acquired. Rolls, yaw spins, flips and so on are all recognised. But that's a video for another time, I think. For now, we're just focusing on the screen, and you can see there was no goggle animation. I could just get in and start flying. I don't have the horizon lines on screen, which make for a cleaner image all around, and I have got the information I want on screen, which this is just how I fly. In the real world, my goggles have all of the information that I want in the corners and along the bottom. They do not have anything in the middle, because I like to see what's coming, not the horizon. It's useful if you're getting confused and you're upside down and stuff, but you should know how you got there, so you should know how to get out of being upside down. You can see there the stunt to detection popping up every now and then when I do certain things as well. So they're useful stuff, but that's kind of not too invasive on the screen, so I don't mind it being on, but we'll probably turn that off for the rest of the videos. That is it for this video. So that's your controller setup and a cleaner looking screen, if that's what you want. But remember, this is all personal preference, so if you want those horizon lines, leave them on. The next video will look at setting up different types of drones and how you can create your own fleet of drones rather than just using blueprints and so on. So I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.